Good morning and welcome to a day in the life of me, Bridget the SAHW witch. I am just this witchy mom from somewhere off in the Oklahoma hills. I have been practicing witchcraft for about 2 decades, and now that craft is sort of delicately interwoven into all that I do as a stay-at-home mom and wife. These are just the best days of my life, my golden years, and I'm so grateful to be able to share them with y'all. When I wake up in the morning, I wake up in a 105-year-old cottage, and I slowly watch her wake up and come to life around me as I make my kids drinks and a breakfast before they start their homeschool day. It's almost like I can feel my home wrap me in her old granny arms and tell me, "Good job, Mama. You're doing great." And even though I definitely don't always feel like I am, I do know that I am trying my best here. And I try to keep in mind that that's what matters. Our home and life here is nothing big and fancy. I am making my kids instant oatmeal for breakfast, not some overnight oats. I am making breakfast in a little tiny country kitchen in a very small cottage home, a home that is probably too small for the 5 of us, but has honestly never really felt that way to me. Probably just because I'm so happy to be here. Picking up toys at 7 o'clock in the morning with what looks to be a Band-Aid stuck to my robe. It just doesn't get much better. A lot of days I wake up before my kids and get dressed and ready and have a full witchy mom morning routine. But you know what, a whole lot of other days I don't. It all balances out though. After some coffee and I get the kids settled and whenever I get dressed and ready for the day. And I start taking care of my morning to-do list, which was clear off the table so we can get started on this week's homeschool work. My table has been plumb full up from one end to the other because I found this really great curbler on our way to horse lessons. A curbler is kind of just like a really great haul of free stuff that people put out sometimes before they take it to Goodwill. It's like a rural small town thing, I guess. But I got really lucky with a good one and it was taking me a while to go through all that stuff. So after taking care of that for a little bit, I headed on out to check on my gardens. They didn't need much watering and tending this morning. It's been rainier than usual here in Oklahoma. We've had a lot of storms lately. Pretty good tornadoes too. And I'm really grateful for where our little home is because it is a really safe part of Oklahoma. Where we live, it's much too mountainous for many tornadoes to be able to touch down here for very long at least. It's not to say that they can't or they won't, that we won't come out unscathed either. It just means that we've gotten lucky. Our home has withstood a couple of tornadoes in her 105 years, but our little hobbit house, she's strong. Morning I am out in my gardens with my little boy and he loves learning all about them. And I grow lots of things here, from trees and vegetables to herbs. The thing I think he's most excited for though is the watermelons. And after hanging around in our gardens for a little while, we head back inside to catch up on our homeschool work. I do homeschool all 3 of our kids here at our little old country cottage. Our kids are 3, 6, and 10 years old. And while I never really expected or started out thinking that I would become a teacher of sorts, here I am, and you know what? I love it. I love homeschooling our kids. It is definitely overwhelming sometimes, but I'm really grateful because the program that we use actually does have board-certified teachers and administration that backs us and helps me out a lot. But all in all, we have just had an amazing experience. Our state ranks almost dead last in education, and I really started to see that. My son has autism and a neurological speech disorder, and it was like swimming upstream. My oldest daughter is gifted and talented, and she was just somehow another fish in the sea. They both were. I'm really grateful for the individual one-on-one treatment that they get, not only with our program, but with me. And with all their extracurriculars and activities, they are just thriving. They love homeschool life, especially on days like today whenever Mama goes and gets them all Happy Meals for lunch. It's the little things in life, I think, that sometimes bring the most magic. Because I make most of our meals from scratch. Something as small and simple as getting a Happy Meal from McDonald's can feel like a big old treat to my kids. Not that they don't love Mama's home cooking, but who doesn't love a good old Happy Meal, am I right? And on this day, it was a work-in lunch for me. I am not one of those moms who eats the scraps or doesn't eat at all. I will always take time to eat, though. Food is fuel and food is good. And after growing up in the toxic diet cultures of the early 2000s, my kids are going to see me eat. They're going to see me eat and they're going to hear me say good things about my body or nothing at all. And like I said, that's on Practical Magic. So after lunch and cleaning up from lunch, there was an extra hamburger bun left over, and I could use a little bit of grounding, so I took off my shoes, took off my purse, and got myself out in the backyard to hang out with my 2 best friends. Their names are Cleo and Pepper, and they're a pair of Easter egger hens. Love my hens and their calming energy, so I'm just going to sit out here for a spell. Thanks y'all for watching. Have a good day.